How are you doing? So today, we are gonna hopefully finish the Grand Prix. I know you guys are just chomping at the bits. You can't wait to see more Grand Prix content.
We want to watch cool content like Ferraris and stuff.
Well, that's coming up. The M45's coming up.
It's kind of like a Ferrari, but not really. Looks a little different and sounds a little different. Rides different. But it's practically the same thing.
Oh, hey, how you doing? It's gonna be a warm one today, boys. I might leave the garage door down because it actually stays cooler in the garage because the concrete makes it cooler. So, if you remember on the end of the last episode, right there is the crash sensor on the stock door. Right here is where it should be in this door. There's not one in it. The wiring harness doesn't have provisions for it, and we're gonna take the lock mechanism, the wiring harness out of the stock door. Already changed the door handle. It normally has a rivet right here that holds it in place, and then there's 3 tabs here that they go in, and it slides back into place. That rivet will hold it from coming out of place. Oh, well, I put a push pin in there. That's basically all you need. It's not going anywhere. So, gotta hook that door up, put the window up, then I can get to everything on it. We'll swap the harness over, and everything should be good to go. And my airbag light will be gone then. Alright, so I just did some quick reorganization so I can store some stuff back here. Got the bicycles up right there. That's a good place for them. I just put one up higher than the other one so they offset, and it works great. Right between the window and the door. It's actually, the big tire bike works as a doorstop. So, wanted to clear out more room here, so whenever I bring a truck or something in here, there's a lot more room. Now, gonna tear into this door, and actually, I already tore into that door, and I got everything out of it. So I'm gonna tear into this door, and then swap the parts over. We'll just do a time lapse and get it done. Alright, so we got the door all buttoned up, everything works now. I'm going to let the car sit here and run. It's steaming a good bit, so I'm thinking intake gasket, for sure. So, anyways, let this thing warm up a good bit, and after it gets up to temperature, we'll shut it down, then I'll check that later, but I need to start doing the rotors and this wheel bearing rotors and the transmission cooler lines. Hi, wife. How are you? How are you? Good. It's just crazy to me how things just change in a matter of time. There's a lot of smoke coming up off the back of the engine. Happens to be the valve cover gasket is leaking, which I planned on doing since I was doing the intakes anyway. So, you know, might as well just, I gotta run to Huntington to get all the parts. You see that faint smoke rising up off the back of the engine. That's, I believe that's oil on the exhaust. Probably see it better now. I can smell it. Or I did just clean the engine. It might have been residue that I washed off, but it seems to be continuous. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time, but I'm pretty much already set on doing this. Alright, so one thing I want to do before I start everything else, I took the headlight out and I was like, oh crap, I forgot about this. I'm going to do it right now. There's a bunch of cracks in this bumper support across here. I got everything like pieced together sort of where it's supposed to be. So I'm heating up my iron here, and I'm going to go ahead and plastic weld all this back together. This is the good plastic. This is the stuff that bonds really good. It's plastic, but it has fibers in it. I'm going to go ahead and melt all this back together, and then we'll start disassembling, throwing some of these parts on, and then decide whether I'm going to be doing a gasket or not. Can we just stop for a second for me to appreciate my subscribers? You guys are awesome. I have some of the best subscribers because I weeded out the bad ones. A subscriber sent me some tools in the mail. They sent me a vacuum pump and AC gauges. So now I can test and recharge air conditioning systems. That's freaking awesome. It may come in handy on this thing because I might have to take the condenser off just so we can get it down to, you know, bare bones where we can get the frame back straight. This is going to work out awesome. I'm excited. But anyways, this subscriber has a YouTube channel, and I want you guys to go check it out. It's a lot more of a raw channel, just like footage, a lot less editing than I do, but nevertheless, they are rebuilding a Dodge Challenger RT right now, and it took a pretty mean hit in the front, so I'm actually interested in the build myself. The guy, along with his sons, are rebuilding this thing. Bye, wifey. Have a good workout. Yeah, it's raining. Anyway, the guy's channel's name is Super Auto Creations. I'll include the link to his channel down in the description below my video. And go check him out, you know. Give him some comments. Give him some likes, you know. Show the guy some love. Maybe subscribe if you like his channel, like you did mine. I'm going to go ahead, get these on, time-lapse it. Let's go! Crap. I forgot about this nut. I ain't got a socket that big. I think I'm just gonna order the socket, order the valve cover gaskets and the intake gaskets, and just go get it all in one shot. That sucks. Totally forgot about that. Darn it. I forgot to show you guys. I fixed the bumper. That's all I'm doing for it. I know. It's crappy, but this is a cheaper car, so the headlight covers a zip tie up. You don't even see it. I was just going to get the sockets at Advanced Auto Parts, but they want $20 for one socket. I want to get a 33 and a 34. So I have them. $20 per socket? I'm going to Harbor Freight. I'm just going to drive another 15 minutes to Lewistown, and they have an Advanced Auto there. Get all my parts, get my sockets. Maybe I could probably get a whole set for $20. That's what these are, and they work great. So let's go get everything we need, and we'll get back and continue on. Just got home from Harbor Freight. It's getting late. That rhymed. And I opened up the socket set, and I was like, here's a socket that fits. And it does fit, kinda. It's a little loose. But I thought I got the half-inch set. And I got the 3/4 inch set. And they don't fit anything I have here. So we're done working on the Grand Prix for today. So we'll get back with you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, new day. Road trip this morning. Gonna run to Harbor Freight and take these sockets back that I mistakenly picked up on accident. In my defense, these were in the place where the half-inch ones were. So somebody made a life decision and did what I did, and it was like, oh crap, I need the half-inch, and put these back where the half-inch was. And so anyways, I also got all the gaskets for the car while I was out the last time, so I don't have to stop there or anything. So let's hit the road. Alright, so get this guys, took those sockets back. I said I got 3/8 drive instead of half-inch. I'd like to, turn them in. With a half-inch set, the one I got 3/4 inch was $42.99. These were $49.99. I had a 20% off coupon I used yesterday when I got those sockets. When she rung them up for a return, she said, I'm just going to do the return for the full price, and we're not worried about the discount. I was like, okay. Today I had a 25% off discount coupon I used with these. They owed me $5.83. How does that work? These things were $7 more. But, yeah, and she was like, well, it's your lucky day. So I paid for my gas to come back and get these, so awesome. I know I said in my defense it was on the wrong shelf, but it's a completely different package, so I have no excuses. I messed up. And if you hear it, my wife's jamming music upstairs, so let's switch to a time-lapse so there's no copyright. So who would have thought, if you have the right tools to do the job, it goes a lot smoother. I'm going to go do the other brakes, get that finished, and then I'll come back over here and put the washer bottle, inner fender, and all this stuff back in here. Alright, so while I was in here, let me get the camera back a little bit. I noticed this rust spot here and I flaked it off, and it's still solid underneath. So I'm actually going to go around. I'm going to scale all this, go over it with some rust reformer, and then we'll continue on. Now, if this was a nicer car, I would have spent more time on that rust spot, but I wire wheeled it, hit on it with a hammer a couple times, make sure it was solid, and then I did rust converter, and then I went over it with a rubber compound sealant. So it's real thick on there. It's coated really good. Now, I'm going to leave the wheels off and put the inner fender and stuff in the other side, and then I'll do the transmission lines. The reason I'm leaving the wheels off is so I don't hit my head walking by. I've hit my head on the wheel several times, and I've had cars up in the air. So to eliminate that, I'm just not going to put them on. Alright, so I went ahead off camera, put the inner fender liner in. Remind me to put them bottom bolts in there. With it on the lift, I can't get the side skirt down and stuff, so we'll get to that later, if I remember. But I'm going to get this up, get the cooler lines, and then we'll put it back down and start tearing the engine down. I'm going to drain the coolant out before I do that. It's still going to make a mess, because there's coolant up in the intake manifold, but you know, it won't be as bad as long as you drain the coolant out. Alright, so we got a brand new fitting up in there. I don't know if you can see it. It's nice and shiny. And as you can see, I drained out most of the antifreeze when I did it. The cooler's just, the transmission cooler just floats in the radiator. And those fittings are what holds it in place and seals it. And it seals the radiator. So when you take one of those fittings out, not only does your, you know, what little transmission fluid you had in there comes out, but also all of your antifreeze. So I just drained it while I was in the process because I need it out anyway to do the intake. So knocked two birds out with one stone. Pretty happy with my decision to change these out. As you can see how rusty they are in a couple spots. And then right here, one of these, I'm pretty sure it was this one, is definitely leaking at the soft hose right there. So I don't regret taking these off. What I do regret is putting the car up in the air and leaving them in the back seat. I'm going to crawl up. Oh, I got a ladder. I'm going to crawl up there and get the lines out. Alright, so what I just did was these new fittings are not the same. Right there's the old fittings. Right here are the new ones I got. Not even close to the same, but the seals were the same. So I used my little picks and I got the inside seals out and the outer seals out, and I replaced the seals and cleaned up the old fittings. So that, and I put the new clips on too. So we're going to go ahead and throw those in the transmission, and I'll start hooking lines up. Alright, so I'm going to set you guys right here where you have the best chance of seeing if there's a leak. There's also hardly any antifreeze in this, so I'm not going to run it very long. But I want to start it up and make sure I don't have any leaks. I ended up having to put the old fitting back in on the bottom of the cooler because the new one wasn't sealing up right. So I put the old one back on. It seems like it's sealing. So anyways, I'm going to start it up. We didn't lose a lot of transmission fluid, so it'll still run through the system. And we'll see if we have any leaks. And if we do, then I'm just going to run this thing off the cliff. That's what I'm going to do with it. Anything running, like, significantly? I don't know if that's actual leak or if that's just residual, because that was a fitting that it was still leaking. Alright, on to the fun stuff. So, as you can see, it has a red plastic gasket down in there. Which leads me to believe that this is the original style. This is the Fel Pro one that's the improvement on the original. It comes with gasket sealer. It has these blue seals for on the edges. All your gaskets everywhere, O-rings, and it's a steel and rubber gasket combination. So this shouldn't need to be changed again after it's done, but we got to get into her first. Well, I can tell you right now, I already screwed up, and I did not order the upper intake gasket, the upper intake manifold gasket. So I just ordered it. I'm just gonna have it shipped to the house. It was free shipping, whatever. First thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the battery. Then I'm gonna remove the belt, and well, I'm just gonna remove the belt off of the alternator and get the alternator out of the way. Then start moving the wiring out of the way. And then it will be a lot easier to start tearing this down. So let me get rid of the simple stuff, and then we'll get into tearing it apart. Alright, GoPro died. I think we got to a good stopping point for today. We're going to continue this on in the next episode. But I'm pretty much ready. I'm going to do the valve covers first. The back cover is pretty much ready. One thing I noticed that was not helping this thing. Yes, this had the new Dorman elbows on it, but that O-ring right there is just disintegrated. I thought that was RTV around there. But no, that is the O-ring that they supplied on it. It melted. This one doesn't. Yeah, that one did a little bit too. But I think the kit comes with new seals for these. But the only bad thing is, I think it's another one of those red ones. Yeah, see, I don't know. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure that's what those are. You see where they put the power steering reservoir in this thing? Like, think about that bracket being on here, and then the alternator being on here. It's like, really? Like, that's not serviceable. That's not even close. Like, how do you even get into that? So, I guess while I'm here, I might as well check it. It's right at the cold mark, so we're good there, but, like, for real. Put it somewhere where you could freaking check it. It's bull crap. But yeah, looking good. Jumping into a job like this might look scary at first, like when you jump into it, because you have all these wiring connectors and everything. And but once you get all the wires out of the way and you actually just see the engine, it makes it a lot simpler. You can look at it and you can be like, oh, okay, I can see what I'm doing now. Just like, if you're scared to do something like this, jump into a job like that. At least remove some wiring and some shields and some brackets and stuff to see what you're working with. It's not as complicated as it looks most of the time. So sometimes it is. It just depends on what you're working on. So anyways, we're going to close this video out right here because I've been working all day, sweating. I'm going to go to the gym, and I haven't spent any time with Ashley, so I might spend some time with her. But this is my 4-day weekend, and I have off tomorrow too. Yay! So, I gotta do some videoing for Ashley. We're doing like some fitness video, and I told her I would video it for her, so we're gonna do that tomorrow. And I'm gonna tear this down the rest of the way. I won't be able to put it all back together, but I'll be able to do the valve cover gaskets and the lower intake gasket, and then we'll figure it out from there. So guys, don't forget there's merch right below the video. Down here is my Teespring page. And if you like this video, go check out some of my other videos. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.